wish you had a second chance to do something? How many of you wish you had a second chance? Mr. Joe Grondin, do you wish you had a second chance to say something?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's make that happen. Come on up here. Give him a... Mr. Joe, I've been videotaping you through this journey. And you did a
It's
great...
legit, by the way.
Yes. The taping or the... We'll save that part for another one.
Okay, good.
All right? And we've listened to you this morning to tell us how it felt on that stage. But I think there's something you forgot to tell us.
What's that?
I don't know, Joe. It's up to you. It's your time. If you had a chance to say something you forgot to this group, what would it be?
Well, I think it's all about the audience. So let's flip it back to you. Are there questions that you want to ask about the World Championship of this game?
What is it?
I want to be up there too.
Actually, Carl, you were setting up the chairs.
Please, we've opened it up. Now's your opportunity to ask questions to this man. We're so proud.
Peter.
How do you handle your nervousness when you come to the situation where you're up in the room and say you think, oh, this person might be a little bit intimidated maybe some other speakers. How do you handle that?
Well, one, always have a Carl with you. And two, there actually wasn't a lot of nervousness. There was some. Because of the work that we did collectively on those two speeches, I knew they were ready. I knew that the work was done. I knew the work was done. So by the time, the only thing left to do is to walk on stage and have fun. Enjoy it. I always think of different things. What the audience is going to get out of it? Have fun and be in the moment. Those are three things that I always remind myself when I speak. Because of you and the collective work that we had done, I was sitting quite relaxed for a better part, up until the nervous parts that Carl came in and helped me out with. But the relaxed part did help, knowing the work was done. Doug.
Between you and Gwen, where did you place yourself before the announcement?
Gwen's opinion was I was fighting for second and third. My personal opinion, I thought the guy that spoke, Robert McKenzie, spoke second. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought the guy that spoke third was phenomenal. Well deserving of those places. In our opinion, we thought that there were three or four speakers that were fighting for that third spot. That were fighting for the third, and mine was one of the speeches I think that were fighting for the third spot.
So,
Sean,
you came in fourth.
Well, I can't really say. It wouldn't be fair to the other competitors to say where I placed, because there's probably 6 other competitors that are saying the same thing. So the only thing that I can honestly tell you, I was in the top 9 speakers in the world.
Right.
That's the only thing I can tell you. Louise.
What are your new goals? Do you plan on being there again next year?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I've opened 3 fortune cookies after the contest, and all of them said, "Be patient, you will be rewarded." Pretty much. And I was encouraged after the conference to come back and do this again. They said, "You're going to come back to the conference." And I said, "What you don't realize is that you have to win." Well, maybe you do. You have to win to get there. And we have very gifted speakers in our district. We do. There are speakers in this room that could fit on the world stage. So you have to win. My dream was to make it to the big stage. And there were some tears shed when that actually happened. Now, Louise, I can honestly tell you, my dream now is to win the World Championships.
Just going to go back over to Sean here.
Yeah, sure, Sean.
My question would be about the feedback you received from the clubs compared to the coaching you got from Jim Key. I'm curious as to the difference there.
I'm glad you asked that, because Jim Key did not see my final speech up until that weekend. So he went with me, and I ran through the speech with him. He looked at me and he said, "Joe, that speech is going to be a contender. I kid you not, that is going to be a contender." And in the back of my mind, it was the work that you people have done with me to make that speech a contender. He did tweak it, and when he said that speech could be a contender, there were different things. Gene Dixon made the comment, let's put a little bit more flowery language in it. And I used wolves always circling. He pointed out, I love that phrase, different parts of what you folks helped me with. He pointed out to me that those were great ideas. And the only thing that he tweaked in the speech was sometimes I would be in a scene, something's unfolding in the speech, and he said, just step out of the scene when you're narrating. So he worked a lot with the body language. Remember I don't know if a lot of remember the 2 chairs in Merchants of Hope? And I was standing. I gave Jeremy the same advice my brother George gave me. He said, you sound like you're lecturing to me. And that was feedback that I've had before. He says, sit down in the chair. Touch the chair. And I remember you making the comment. I remember Sean making the comment. Touch the chair. Touch the hat. Because I did touch, and he said, and that created a whole different aspect of that speech. All the feedback that you folks have given, he verified that was great feedback. Okay?
Time for one more.
What did you learn that you can give us, even though that you took a lot from us to get you to that point? Now that you've been at that point, what can you give in recommendations for us to perhaps improve upon or recommend to another potential, including yourself?
I think the one thing, and it's Darren McQua's motto, stage time, stage time, stage time, and never underestimate the power of a team. When you're developing a speech, particularly for a speech contest or for whatever's out there, there's a lot of work that's involved, and it's putting it out there, getting the feedback, tweaking, putting it out there, getting the feedback, tweaking. When you looked at a lot of the world championships of public speaking and get their feedback, there is a process that goes along. We did the process. There is a process that goes along with it. So the one thing that I took away from that was, please make sure that whenever you present, everything, all your ducks are in order, and the feedback is in, and the work is there. That is what's the lesson they taught me. Do I have one quick one with Vivian?
Sure, Mr. Timer, can we have a...
It's
Joe,
almost 7:30.
you're talking about Jim Key. Did you get to pick the coach that you get with it from the world speakers, or did they pick you?
Good question. I sent 5 emails out to 5 world champions, and a lot of them were too busy. Jim Key was the one within 24 hours. He emailed me back and said, I will help you.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Joe. Now I can finish my cake. And thank you for helping me do my speech. How was I today?
Yeah.